to my point, this is, and apropos of Carl's call just a second ago, this is not an anti-Hillary Clinton rant at all. I think it would be amazing to have a woman as a president, and Hillary Clinton is a perfect woman for that job. And she would make a very good president. There's no doubt in my mind. She's not quite as far left as I'd like, but she's a hell of a lot better than frankly, most of the Democrats and any of the Republicans. So it's not even a hold your nose and vote Democratic because the Supreme Court's at stake. I'm actually enthusiastic about Hillary Clinton. That said, the Democratic Party itself is starting to freak out. As the Financial Times wrote today, as Maureen Dowd in the New York Times wrote over the weekend, she's even saying that Howard Schultz, this is a New York Times columnist. This is how the establishment seeds this stuff. Saying here, the CEO of Starbucks, he should run. He's got a rags to riches story. He's a rich guy. He could pull a Donald Trump and fund much of his own campaign, and he's willing to go along with the establishment. What's going on with this whole Biden thing, trying to draft Biden, get Biden out there, is that they're freaked out that an outsider, in this case Bernie Sanders, may end up on the inside of the Democratic Party and push the Democratic Party in a direction that will push out the billionaire donors and the big corporations. The Republicans are afraid of the exact same thing with Donald Trump. Although Donald Trump presents a far less viable option, if he actually were to get the nomination. I don't think he's interested in being president. He's interested in running. He's loving the spotlight. When the spotlight goes away, when the work comes, forget it. He's out of here. Donald Trump is not going to be the Republican nominee. And he's not going to be president of the United States. You can count on that. But on the Democratic side, basically what they're saying is, okay, we insiders, and the we insiders includes the insiders in the media, want this Sanders guy taken down. And Hillary doesn't seem to be taking him down. The more he goes up, the more she goes down. So maybe Joe Biden can take him down. Because the other, Lincoln Chafee and Mr. Webb, Jim Webb, and Martin O'Malley, the other three Democratic nominees, they're getting no enthusiasm, and they're certainly not capable of taking down Sanders. So how about Biden? And then the chorus of insiders in the media comes in. And MSNBC has been particularly part of this. They essentially did not even report on the largest political event in the history of the United States, Bernie Sanders' house parties last Wednesday. Over 100,000 people showed up. They, by and large, don't report on what Bernie has to say, because part of what he has to say actually flies in the face of the political agenda of the company that owns MSNBC and NBC. And it flies in the face of the company that owns ABC. And it flies in the face of the company that owns CBS. You're not going to hear Bernie's message on corporate media. It ain't going to happen. Even flies in the face of the company that owns CNN. And so here is the corporate media trying to take down Bernie Sanders. Bernie has over and over and over again on this program, and I don't know if we found the clip of that this morning, but, that was in our TV meeting. Anyhow, over and over and over again on this program said democratic socialism is providing a strong social safety net for the poor and setting the rules of the game of business so that if you work a 40-hour week, you can make enough to not live in poverty, but to live a middle-class life. It's that simple. He's not opposed to the free market. He doesn't think that the government should own everything or that the government should even regulate business all that much. Bernie does not have an argument against capitalism. But Chris Matthews wants you to think he does. So when Bernie was on, what was this, Meet the Press? Oh, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was on. Yeah, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was on Meet the Press over the weekend. I'm sorry I missed it. I had to fly to Los Angeles Saturday morning, flew back Sunday morning, and so I missed the shows. But here is, after Debbie Wasserman Schultz is on and Chris Matthews tries to get her to essentially complain about Bernie being a, quote, socialist. Here's what he had to say. Watch this. Listen.
She doesn't want to answer that question.
Yeah,
why do you think that?
Well, I think there's a big difference. I mean, socialists traditionally believe in government control of the economy, and Democrats believe in modifying the economy to help people at the bottom, a safety net, modification, but clearly they believe in the market.
Why do you think she didn't say that?
Well, politically, she doesn't want to offend the Bernie people.
You think that's the issue?
Well, I think so. And maybe there was an intellectual problem, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt and say it was really a political problem she faced, because I think Hillary Clinton hasn't staked out the difference, and she better. I mean, it's not the Democratic Socialist Party. You got to run as a Democrat, which is always harder to explain. Being a progressive or a liberal is a lot harder than just being a right wing or a left winger. You're actually somewhere center left, and it's a little harder to define. But clearly, Democrats have had a record in this country for 200 some years of being for Social Security, Medicare, civil rights, interventions in the market, but not getting rid of the market. Clearly, they accept the power and the efficiency of a capitalist system. Socialists do not. This is a fundamental difference.
Do not if you're talking about Chinese communism, if you're talking about the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. But, you know, Chris Matthews is trying to say that Bernie Sanders doesn't believe in capitalism or the market, which is just a complete lie. I mean, you know, either Chris Matthews is profoundly ignorant, which I don't believe for a second. I think he's one of the smartest guys out there. Or this is now the leading edge of the establishment, the insider's spear that is going to be thrown against that outsider, Bernie Sanders. So just, you know, watch this space. It's going to get really, really interesting. It's happening on the Republican side, too.